For some children, there is a need for them to be in an environment, in an educational environment, where there really is the ability to attend to their very unique, complex, and significant disabilities. Their needs may be beyond the scope of the public school program for them to be able to thrive and demonstrate all the capabilities that they can achieve. In Pennsylvania, there is a system of approved private schools throughout the Commonwealth, and those schools exist to provide the highly specialized education and instruction that those students need and deserve, so that when the students are in their school program, either before they begin or involved in it already, the opportunity exists for them to be to make a move from that LEA program to an approved private school where the appropriate education can be provided. There are about 4,000 students in Pennsylvania who are served through the APS, the Approved Private School System. That's a system of private schools which are licensed and approved by the State Department of Education to provide the highly individualized education that these students need. They can be preschool-age students through age 21. They have a range of disabilities, but in all cases, their needs are more significant and complex than the typical special education student, and therefore they need and should have every right of access to the education that's appropriate for them. And it's an important part of the state's delivery system of special education to include the approved private school option for those students. Students who have autism spectrum disabilities, hearing and vision impairment, intellectual disabilities, emotional disturbance, cerebral palsy, neurologically based disabilities, disabilities of any sort that can't be appropriately handled in the public school program should be able to be addressed in these very specialized schools that exist throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We also serve students who are not necessarily enrolled in our programs, but we can consult with school districts, and we do that too, so that there may not be the need for a student to be enrolled in an approved private school program, but we can consult with a district, we can train teachers, we can do evaluations, we can collaborate with those school programs, and as such, I think, add to the options that exist for students in need of special education throughout the state. There are many reasons for a student to come to an approved private school and receive the free appropriate public education to which they're entitled. And that is to make sure that those students receive the best opportunities they can, have the most opportunity to learn, to move ahead, to be a successful student, engaged and involved with their school community, their family, whether they are in a center school, as an approved private school is, for a short period of time, or if they're there and move back to their school district or stay through their school career. The point is they need that specialized training in order to thrive and be a successful student and a successful graduate of the school programs when they leave the education system. We serve students in contained classrooms with special education teachers, therapists, nursing support, and in many cases, counseling, psychiatric and psychological supports that are necessary to meet each child's individual needs. The approved private school system is one that's been around since before public laws dictated the need for education of all children, and we've been doing it for a very long time, in many cases well over 100 years, so that these schools are the special programs that have developed the expertise that's needed for children who have, children and young adults who have very specialized needs. It's not reasonable to think that a public school program can provide for every student when so many of their needs are complex and require some highly specialized training and intervention, and that's what the approved private school system can provide. In addition to the school programs in Pennsylvania, not in addition to, but other states have the same systems wherein they recognize that not every child's needs can be met in the local school program, but they can then refer out to other private schools that are licensed and approved, and we have meet the same regulations that public schools do. Our teachers are certified, all our staff are licensed, we go through all the other clearances and meet the regulations that any school program does. But we're private and we operate with a very specific focus. Each one of the schools does that. And in Pennsylvania, there are just under 30 of those schools that serve these very uniquely qualified students to come to and benefit from school programs like ours.